Namaste, all of you. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Elite Testers Sunday Meetup. I'm your host Nagesh Deshpande, and let me tell about myself. I am in the industry from last 13 years, and as a passion, as a hobby, I do interact with a lot of people in software testing, and I'm the founder of the Elite Tester community, where we are connected with more than 1,500 testers in the industry, and we host this Sunday meetup, which is free for everyone, and the recordings will be also available in future. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, so you can find me on LinkedIn with my full name Nagesh Deshpande. And I would like to welcome today's guest on or today's speaker, Sanjay Kumar. Who don't know Sanjay Kumar? Sanjay Kumar is a known face in the industry. He's he created initially he created Crowpath. Now he has launched Selectors Hub, which is really helpful for all the testers here. And that's why we are here today to hear from him. What is his vision? What is his mindset? How did he become such a visionary or such a creative at such young age? So over to you, Sanjay. I will be on mute, my camera will be off. I will keep monitoring the chat, so if there is anything you can put in it in the chat. Over to you, Sanjay. Welcome again, and I will ask him to introduce and start his session today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Nagis, for the great introduction. And hello, all. Good afternoon. Hope you all are doing good. And I'm really thankful to Nagis for giving me this opportunity to interact with you guys and to help you all with. Okay, let me share my screen with the new innovation and what are like about locators problem and everything. And would love to share my journey as well. So my name is Sanjay Kumar. I'm the creator of Crowpath and Selectors Hub. I'm not sure like if you guys have ever come across about these tools and you have used it. So I will explain this how Selectors Hub and all can help you and how can we and this workshop is mostly related to XPath and locators problem. So I will help you guys like how smartly you can write and how robust selectors we can write, because if we are in UI automation or web automation simply, the main challenge is selectors. Like if you are good and best in writing selectors, that means you are the best in writing web automation, because there is nothing apart from the locators in UI automation, because rest of the like methods, click, driver.find element, or whatever base method you have written, that is always there on a daily basis. You have to deal with selectors, XPath or CSS selectors, or there are a couple of more as well. So yes, we will start with that. And if you have guys any question, feel free to ask anything related to anything, selectors or about like my journey. So okay, I'm not sure like from where I got stopped and where. So I was telling about my journey. So I started my career with IBM, and then I after some time I started learning automation, and then it took some time. I worked for IBM in Mobi, Go Ibibo, Urban Ladder. Then in between sometimes I started like I got an idea about Crowpath, so that is journey, that was a journey there as well. And then okay, so long story short, while when I developed Crowpath, and Crowpath has been there in the market for almost now it's been more than 3 years now, and everybody is loving it. But you might have seen that with that Crowpath, you might have never seen like any trainer or anyone like expert like me or Nagesh or anybody who's a expert. They will never suggest a beginner or someone to use a tool which is giving the auto-generated XPath for a beginner, or in fact sometimes for expert as well. But if you are an expert, then it's fine, like you can use whatever you want as per the convenience. But why nobody was suggesting such tools like Crowpath or any XPath tool which is giving auto-generated XPath? Because we were losing the skills behind, and we were not able to like let's say we are keep using some tools which is giving auto-generated for 10 days. After 10 days, if you will have to write your own XPath, there will be a problem. Like you won't be able to recall that what all functions were there. And I will teach you guys today. I will show you guys like how many kind of functions. You might be knowing all of them. There will be few people who will get to know, oh, this is also there, that is also there. So those all things you will learn from here. So that was the idea, like can we have something which can save our time, which can help us to learn selectors and XPath, which can make us perfect in writing selectors. So that's where this idea came, selectors hub. Not wasting any more time, let me just quickly start with the like XPath. So few of the functions I will write the very basic one. And those who are not aware about like what is XPath, what is selectors, what is locators, we all the time used to use these terms. Just at high level, I will say this is the address, like locators are the address of the web element, and why we need them. So like you see that in normal word, like let's say for example here it is. So in normal word, if you see that if we have to perform something on at any place, any activity, so we have to go there first, right? And then to go reach that place, we have to we need the address of that place, right? So similarly we need the address of all. If we have to click on these elements, we need the address. We if we have to perform any actions, we need the address. So here I was telling, yes, so I will start with a very basic function. I was just telling the definition of selectors. So this is selectors are basically address of the web element. So couple of format of writing XPath. Like one is double forward slash tag name. Then this is a very simple one. At the rate attribute is equal to single quote or double quote. It's up to you. Attribute value. This is one very basic one. And if you have to write like this is with single attribute. You can add multiple attribute. Like this can go like this, multiple attribute. So if you have written like this and you want to add more attributes, like with you want to make it your XPath more robust, then you can write this way. We can have, I'm just making a note for you guys so that it will be easy for you. And if you want, there is like and or condition as well, so you can end like this, and you can add. I'll just explain all these meaning and why like this one, why other one you have to use it. Like this you can add or condition as well. You can use or. Likewise, there are a lot more functions. Like there's a function like normalize. I'm not sure if you have used this normalize as well. So I will write this. Let me just note it down. Last position and index as well. So all these you will learn it, and then like following parents, child, relative with parents in single sort. I'm just writing relative, and there are like what is the difference between single forward slash, double forward slash, and then somebody must be having this question like whether CSS selector is faster or like XPath. Everybody used to have the question, and whether we should go with CSS selector or XPath, that is also there. So all those I will try to explain. So let's just start with this one. Why double forward slash? Like here I have written double forward slash and then single forward slash. Right. So if you see here, okay, the very basic funda is single forward slash like immediate child, and double forward slash like it will directly look for that particular element. If you have written double forward slash tag name, it will directly jump into like it will look for all the tag name. Like let's say double forward slash div we have written, and it will check for all the divs. If you have written single forward slash div, then it will check only like immediate, the very first one. Okay, likewise, so it is always suggested that you use double forward slash tag name, and then like if it you doesn't require the immediate child, that's why. Now let's see this practically, and then I will try to explain more on that. Let's say on this website, we have to write an XPath for any element in the page. For example, let's say this element only, selector sub. Hope you guys are able to hear me and see me properly and my voice is clear. If any question, please please feel free to ask in the chat section. So I will be keep looking in between. So for this element, let's say if we have to write in sectors, and there are more functions as well, I will explain. So for this element, if we have to write, so how do we write it today? Like suppose you are not using selector sub or ProPath or any XPath tool. So we used to, like many people use the dev tool. So there we there right. So here we will write, if we write single forward slash a, so it will, okay, so here in the what the problem with this dev tools is this, it not only works for the verifying the selectors or locators, it also works as a search page. It starts searching. So now wherever a will be written, it will find all the a's, like in between a word, if a is there, that also it will verify. But let's say you want to verify css selectors like a tag name, you know how to write css selectors. So if that you have to verify, that also it will check, like then it will not just check css selector, it will check everything. Okay, so here let's say we have to verify the single forward slash a. So now you see that wherever is that occurrence is there, though this is not a matching element, but it is suggesting everything, which is no use for us, right? As an UI automation engineer, developer, this is not single forward slash a matching element, right? So this is no use for us. If you write double forward slash a, then it is giving okay, right? So this is how we will write. Now here double forward slash a, and now if we have to next for this element, how what we will take the attribute at the rate. Now attribute, let's say we want to write this attribute rel is equal to home, one of three. So there are three matching nodes. This is the one which we want. This is the third one, three of three. Okay, so we will have to make it unique. Now how we will make it unique? So there are, like I showed you guys here, one is this tag name, and then single attribute, this single attribute. Multiple attribute we can write, like we can add after this as well, like this multiple attribute like this, or and condition. So let's say we try with or condition. Yeah, sorry, and condition. Let's try with and condition here. So this is similarly like we are writing our code, conditions in code. Like if both the conditions matches, then tell us. So still there are three of three. Okay, so here we have written, like in code you write if else, right? And there and conditions, like if both the conditions matches, then. So similarly here we are, what we are trying now, I can explain you. Find all the a tag in this page which is having this relative attribute is equal to home and item prop is equal to url. Both the conditions should match. If we use or condition here, then it is saying that find, first we are telling here, I'm just let me copy this and put it here. Here what is this meaning of this complete XPath? Double forward slash check in complete page all the a. This is first, this part will do what it will do, it will check all the a in that DOM. Then so it has segregated all the a's from the page, all the anchor tag. This we used to call anchor tag. So it has segregated, first it has filtered all the a's from the page. Now it is looking for this attribute, relative attribute. So now it will filter all those a which has relative attribute. let's say this doesn't have relative attribute. This has ABC, this has relative, and this has something else. Okay, so now it will filter these two as well. Two left. Now let's say it has item prop, and this one doesn't have. Then it will filter this one, and this is how it will look for this, and it will show that this is the matching node for your XPath. This is how it match. Suppose if we have used, okay, we have used and condition. In that case, it will remove this. If we have used or condition, then in that case, it will not remove this one. It will find both of them. Sorry. If we have or condition, then it will find both of these. If we have and condition, then it will filter out this one as well. So this is how, like, at high level, these things works, like XPath, how it start traversing. So here it will start traversing from here. Like as soon as we type /a, it will get all the A tags from the page. Not in the DevTools, it will work in that way. Let me show you same things, how simple it will work in selector sub and how easy it will be, because it is tough to explain here in the DOM. So here in selector sub, you just type /a. It has filtered out all the A's which has all the XPath which has A tag. Now we have to add that condition, this one, relative home. Let's add this condition here. And this. So you see, out of those, like first it was, I hope you are able to understand this concept. This is very like fundamental and basic concept. So right now it has filtered 51A from your page. Then we have added this one. Now it has filtered out of them. Okay. Now we will add the second condition, and condition, and this. Let's see what left. Still 3, right? Now we will add one more condition. So we can add the text as well. So you see here, as soon as you type here and this one, see, so now it has filtered out of those 3 to 1. So this is how this XPath concept works. First we have filtered, let me again take it, half 51. Then we have added 2 condition here, 3, and then we have added one more. It has, so likewise it start filtering one by one. So these are the conditions we have added. If you have any questions so far, please feel free to ask. I'm just looking at the chat. Is this concept clear? Sign in
Yes, Sanjay.
at this Paytm and share how to find experts. Can you please get your mic here?
Yes, Sanjay.
Sanjay,
Yeah.
one question.
Okay.
I have
Are
posted
you guys?
one. Yeah, I have posted one question in chat. Like there is a site like Paytm,
Yeah.
and I need to find the
Yes.
XPath from manually or through Selectors Hub. So can you guide there?
Yes. So for this one,
Yeah.
login button, right? Okay,
Yeah,
so let's
login
inspect
button.
this
Yeah.
segment. Okay. This one. So you just start typing here, div, then this, and this. Here it is. Is it fine? Can you hear me? So this is the one.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
hope you can see now.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Can
So
you
this is how
click
you
on
can build it.
login?
It's very simple. You just start typing.
Yeah.
You want me to click on this?
Yeah, click on and find the element on that particular pop-up window.
Pop up. Yep. Okay.
Yeah, whenever we click
So
on sign
here
in,
I
yeah.
am. So now in which element you want to inspect me?
There is
This
one
one?
link, watch video, so you can, yeah, watch video. So
Okay. Watch video. 1 second. Let me see. Is this the part of different kind of pop-up?
I think that is iframe.
Okay. So looks like this iframe is from different source, not from the same source. So okay, I will explain this concept. Yes, so this is
I
from
think we have to
different
switch to that
iframe.
frame. Hmm.
No.
And then we
So
can
I will tell
find
you the
out.
reason why it's not showing iframe. Yes, that you can do it in your code. The reason why it's not showing here iframe, I will show. I will show you. Good. This is a good example actually. Like here, this iframe is from different source. Like this source you are seeing.
Yes.
So when we are saying iframe from the same source and different source, the logic behind same source and different source is, if an iframe is from same source, then we can handle those iframes through uh, through an extension, through a browser plugin. Chrome allows, or browser allows us to inject the script inside the iframe which are from same source. But if an iframe is from different source, we cannot inject script inside those iframe. That is a policy, security policy. So you will find these kinds of iframe mostly in Google Ads, or the very secured payment websites or banking websites, because they doesn't want to allow the script, inject the script inside those iframes. But if the iframe is from same source, like this is an iframe, this is from same source, so we should be able to inject, like extension will work. Like if you inspect here, you see that it is showing in iframe, and here it will work like charm. So that is
Can
the limitations. So
is this the limitation of the tool or it's the limitation of something else?
it is the limitations of the browsers. That is the concept. Like nobody can inject the script inside the iframe which are from the different source. So none of the extension would be able to inject the script. None of the extension will work on the iframe which are from different source, because we cannot inject the script. We cannot access that DOM of iframe which are from different source. So extension can't access this DOM which is inside different iframe, a different source iframe. And iframe source will be same when the like portal will be same, port will be same, and the URL, this source will be same. Is this clear?
Yes, but yeah, iframe concept is different one. But can you manually write the XPath for that watch video? Is it possible?
Yes. So through this tool you can't write. For this you can write like simply here, because Chrome has that access. Like Chrome has that access of this. Chrome has everything. What they does, like here you see, it has authorized. It has like Chrome has that power to switch into that iframes. So Chrome can access this, but not the outside tool. So you can write it here, like spam and this one, watch video, right? So here you can write. And as this space is there, so that space you can ignore, contains text. These are the challenges, like we have to remove the spaces and all. So this is one.
Yeah.
So for the different sources, you can write it here. And there is a like different origin policy is there. So you can Google it, you can write it, read it here. I'm not sure, can't I? Okay, one second. Can't I remove this here? This is pathetic. Let me show you different origin policy for the iframe. Different source origin policy for iframe. So if you see here, this is like here. In fact, this is the official one, I guess. So definition of an origin. So two URLs, if protocol port and host are the same for both, you may see the references scheme host. Same origin policy is critical security mechanism that restrict how a document or a script loaded from one origin can interact with a resource from another origin. It helps isolate potentially malicious documents, reducing possible attack vectors. So hope this makes sense to you, that why it is not allowed. And more in details, like you can read it here.
Yes.
One moment, guys. One moment. One moment. Okay. Sorry. Actually, one cat was there which was inside the room, and I had locked the room, so she was roaming around.
Okay, no
Okay.
problem.
So this
Yeah,
is clear,
thanks.
I hope. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
thanks.
if any doubt on this, you have, yeah, feel free to ask. So hope this concept is clear.
Yes.
Okay. As
And
we are talking about this kind of concept, so yeah, you're saying something.
yeah, so one more basic question. So whenever we test any particular application or IE or Firefox, some locators does not get easily identified by scripts. So should we only go for Chrome for selector hub, or we can use different browser for our test scripting?
So, okay, actually, your question. So your question is like, if you have written and selector on in selector sub in Chrome, can you use the same one in other browser? Is that the question, or you want to know whether like for Firefox, Opera, and Edge browser it is available or not?
Yeah, right.
Yes, so it is available for all the browsers. Like in Firefox as well, the same selector is available, so you can just add in Firefox as well, and same functionality is there, so you would be able to use it there as well.
Okay,
So you
okay,
can
yeah.
verify there. Yeah, and in Edge as well, Opera as well. So it's available for all the browsers, and soon it will be available in all the browsers. Like in Safari also, it will be available. Okay, so we were talking about the limitations and what is possible, what is not possible for the security region. Hardly you will come across these kind of scenarios. Not always. It very rare it will be. And also I'm trying to like do something for these kind of limitations as well, trying all the hacks possible. Reason being, we can't do that, those hacks in Chrome Store. If we will do such things and we will break the security, Chrome will remove the extension from the Chrome Store, as well as like there could be regions that company will, this is the region, these security are the regions that many company doesn't allow to use the browser extension. They doesn't allow in their company. So you might have heard in many companies, company doesn't allow the extensions because of these security regions, because extensions used to take the like extension has to interact with the DOM to like perform any actions or verify your selectors in the DOM. That is the reason. Okay, so one more concept, like you have seen that selectors of work for shadow DOM. So there are also shadow roots are also uh, two types, like open and close. So actually everything is has like two, like these shadow root iframes, they are, or the frames, they are all introduced for the security purpose. So everything has like, so whenever something used to introduce for security, they always have like less security and then more security, right? Because then we have to always find like some limitations, some politeness, that is there some way can we provide, so that like some can, at least we can access partially. So similarly, like iframe, you have seen two types of iframe, same source, different source. So if their iframes are there from same source, we can interact with them, we can handle them. If iframes are from different source, we cannot inject them. Similarly, shadow root is there. if there are also two types, open and closed shadow root. So you see, if it is closed, then we cannot interact with the shadow root elements if they are closed from the closed shadow root. If it is open, then we can interact, we can access those elements. This difference. So specifies either open or closed. This defines whether or not shadow roots or internal features are accessible from JavaScript. If the mode is closed, the shadow root implementation internals are inaccessible and unchangeable from JavaScript. In the same way, implementation internals of, for example, video implement are inaccessible and unchangeable from JavaScript. So now let me show you this practically what I'm saying here. First of all, those who are not aware about the shadow root elements of shadow DOM is the DOM inside DOM, which is always attached to an element, any web element. So whenever you see something like shadow root, so this means inside this, whatever elements are there, that you can say that those are inside shadow DOM. And it is always required, like iframe is in itself is a DOM, but this is a shadow DOM. This doesn't have the document. So like in iframe, you have seen that was having its own document. You see, iframe has its own document. Like iframe has its own document, right? But if you see this shadow, this doesn't have document. It directly starts with element. So it is like DOM inside DOM, which is not actually DOM. This is a set of elements which is attached to a element of a DOM. I'm sorry if I'm making it complicated. Those who are not aware about it, I'm just wanted to make you guys to understand this is something like shadow DOM. Okay, so can somebody like tell me, is this making sense, you guys, if what I'm explaining? Cover this topic if possible. Also set values in XML on run. Okay, perfect. So these elements are inside shadow DOM, which is open root. We can write that. Like now, if you open selectors up, it will tell you that this element is inside shadow DOM. So from here, you'll be able to understand what is shadow DOM, if that element is inside shadow DOM or not. So this you can see. Again, in fact, like now, like we are talking about the limitations. So even DOM has a lot of limitations. Like this DOM, Chrome DevTools has limitations. You cannot verify here CSS selectors for this. Another concept is, okay, let me write down these concepts here. Where this shadow DOM used in the websites, wherever people wants to use. So iframe or shadow DOM, these are introduced for the security purpose. If you guys have ever worked on let's say if you have ever worked on Java, you might have heard about encapsulation. So encapsulation is like for security. So similarly, this shadow DOM, shadow root or iframe, these are for security purpose. This has been introduced. Like captcha, you might have heard. So same like this. So I was saying, okay. So one is iframe from different source, same source, same shadow DOM, open, closed, and for shadow DOM, Xpath doesn't support. We cannot write Xpath for shadow DOM elements. Support for shadow DOM elements. So we will have only one option left for shadow DOM elements, which is CSS selectors. So this is a rule, this is a concept that we cannot write. And even DevTools, here you cannot verify this shadow DOM elements like CSS selectors. Let me show you. So if you see here, if you type hashtag input, like for this element, what is CSS selector? Like we can write with ID, right? Hashtag input. So if you hit enter, you see it's not, nothing is happening. So even Chrome DevTools, Chrome doesn't support shadow DOM elements like shadow DOM selectors. You cannot verify shadow DOM selectors in Chrome DevTools. Here, selector sub is more powerful. You can verify this one here, and as soon as you type hashtag, it will show you that value, and you can verify that. You see how people are doing that today. From the day one when the web was invented or CD-ROM was invented, from that day people were just hit and trial. Like they used to write something like this, and then go there in the script, write that, and then execute that and see whether it's working or not. Okay. So these are some relations and use cases which REST can help. Now let's come back here. What we were talking about, writing XPath. So I explained this, how this XPath concepts work, like from how this small part, if somebody asks you how it travels from the top to bottom, and multiple attributes and or conditions we have seen. Now let's come across all these functions and see what all functions you have seen. Okay. So here you can see that as soon as, okay, so what is the beauty of selectors sub? Now let's see that. As soon as you type here, like what we were doing here, when we type $/a, you see it's 1 of 77. While we doesn't want to see all of them 77, which is not correct for us, because it is finding this $/a as well, which is wrong for us. We want to verify and we want to see actual tag, a tag, how many are there. So as soon as you type here in selector sum, it tells you that 51 is there, $/a. You can select it, and then you type this. Now see the magic and good learning here, how it helps you to learn about about the selectors and XML. As soon as you type open bracket, you see contains dot is there. So this is a dot function. So there is a function dot in selectors in XPath. Now what does that mean? If you inspect this element, you see there is a lot of spaces here. Right? If we have to like write manually, we will have to remove that space, and we don't know what function is there. So mostly we remember that text function, right? Where can we use the dot? So here we can use this contains dot selector sub. So selector. So this is how it will help you to learn this. Contains normalized space. What is normalized space? So this is another function, normalized space. Normalized space. This is I'm not sure how many of you know about this normalized space function. So what is this? Like if there is any space in between, the junk space is there in the word, in the text, in your DOM element, that it will normalize, remove, and it will help you with that. So you can use this function. So this is an XPath function, normalize dot. So this you would be able to learn from here selector sub. Then contains text is here. Normalize space is equal to like direct value. If it is that equal, then it can help you with that. So these are the functions you see. So basically you learn these new functions, dot, normalized space, contains, you can use, contains text is equal to use, normalized space is equal to you can use this. And if you forgot anytime, it will help you to learn about these new functions. And then these are the occurrences it used to show with each attribute. And then last is the last positions, all the functions. And here comes the questions. Like let's say somebody asks you, can we use this function? Like dot is equal to selector sub for this one, whether this is possible or not. So it will help you like why this selector sub is showing 0 occurrences. You must be having this question, right? So it helps you that what is possible. Is this kind of XPath can be right for this element? So you can say no, this is not correct, this is not correct, this will not give you start text with this, start with text is this. So these are incorrect. I mean, this will not give any match. This helps you to learn about these things, right? So you learned about dot, normalized space, and all these functions like last, position, and these functions, why these are not possible. Like you must be having, if we right now we are having the Xpath workshop here, so you must be having this question in mind that why this is not possible. Any questions so far in these like functions? Dot, normalize space, starts with, contains, last position.
Meanwhile, I have added that selectors hub in my Chrome browser. So to select that, to find that XPath, we need to type some tags, and then that tool will work. Is my understanding correct?
Okay, yes, yes. So as I said, like currently it is not giving the auto suggested, auto generated like Crowpath.
Okay.
So it is here. This is going to help you see that build your own XPath and CSS selector in less than 5 seconds. Right. So let's say we have to build an XPath for this element. So in other tools, what like in Crowpath or in other tools, what we were doing, like we just inspect element and that used to give. But many times we have to edit that most of the time. Like in fact, 80% people used to report that we have to edit XPath or we prefer to write our own XPath. So that is the reason this new reality is that the selectors have got invented. And you see here, hardly it will take 3-4 seconds. You just type /A and this done. How fast it is, you see. And once you will be habitual and once you will have that practice in mind, you can quickly create it. And whichever you want, like /A, it gives you immediately along with the occurrences, you see. And whichever format you want, you use this one. And you are not losing your script without compromising your skill set. You're getting all those information. And here in the left side, whichever element you have inspected, for that it will start giving the auto suggest.
Okay.
And we don't remember all those functions like normalize space, because a tool can give, when auto generation comes, auto generated XPath comes, it can like understand, okay, what I can give, but it cannot give that 10 selectors. If it will I mean it can give 10 or 20 selectors, but if it will give 20 XPath, it will be tough for user, for beginners to filter out which one they want to use, which one they should use. And if they have to filter out of them, then better to write their own in that same time, right? So
So
this is the reason that this is going to help a lot.
this normalized space
Sorry,
is
please.
actually ignoring the space and then considering that element, correct?
Yes,
Is
yes,
what
correct. So
just
basically
when
you
you want
see
to
here,
ignore the yeah.
yes. So if there is like junk spaces there like this, and if you write here, let's say text is equal to like this one, you see this is page, this is space, so this is like junk space. So what this normalize function does, it used to ignore that space and then try to like match your element with that, match your value with that particular values here in the DOM.
Same like
So
a
that is
trim
the function
function,
normalize space.
trim in Java.
Exactly. Yes.
From
Exactly
left
what
and right
it
hand
does.
side, it's going to remove
Yes.
from the text.
Yes. It will ignore that space.
Not it.
Okay. Now, so you learned this normalize space. Last is like the last one. Position is that which position, which
Sanjay,
position
1 minute.
Xpath want.
I have a question. So
Yes,
are
please.
those selectors that we see in the drop down are by default, or they just show the possible ones that are existing on the page?
Mm, Can you come again? Sorry, I didn't get your question.
See, for example, selectors have logo. So does it point to what is existing, or does it show that we have 5 different types of writing the logo, XPath for the logo? Is it real time, or I mean, my question is it real time? So does it just show that
Yes.
what is the possible?
No, it's the real time. It's the like what is the current value available in the DOM. So let's say if we have inspected this element inside innovation,
Okay.
so this
Okay.
will show the current element's value, not the like what will come in future or refresh. It will always show, this auto suggest will always show for the inspected element what element, because while writing auto suggest, while giving auto suggest, it always uh, require the some reference like for which one we want, right? Because it cannot, there could be thousands of key tag in this page, right? So it cannot give
Yes.
auto suggest. If it will start giving for all the elements, then it will be very tough to, like for you it will be very tough to filter out those values, which one is for this p. So it gives always for this one, whichever you have inspected. And
Okay.
you consider this selector sub as a smart editor for your selectors. Like you have IntelliJ, Eclipse, PyCharm, Sublime. Right? These are the smart editor where we type the value and we get the as soon as we start typing like some function like driver dot, as soon as you type dot, it gives all those functions after that, right? Possible. So this is basically a smart editor for selectors, which is going to save your time
Okay.
and
Got that.
helps you to learn more about the selectors. Yeah. Okay. Coming to the next point. Next, logic indexes. Many times situations comes that where we are not able to write the unique XPath and we have to go for the indexes, right? So let me show you that one here. Let's say this element, SVG element. Now, as soon as you type here, it gives this one. Now there are 95 elements matching, and when you open it, all of them are finding more than one matching node. So if we have to make it unique, we are only left with a choice. Either we go the relative with any parent, or we use the indexes. So many people prefer indexes, though I won't say use indexes. I will always say that use the relative, but I will show you how to write that those kind of indexes and how selectors will suggest those. So you just open parenthesis here and it will give you with the indexes here. And this is the unique XPath for this element. So this is how indexes has been supported by selectors. Is this concept clear? Like how do we write the indexes? So this is, we have to find out if we have written some XPath or some selector for any element. Then we will figure out how many are the matching node for that with that XPath. Okay, so this one is current one is XPath is equal to 39. It's telling you selector. The occurrence of this in this page for this selector is 39. So what we will have to do, we will have to add 39 in this. So selectors will automatically suggest you, and that's where you can build your own XPath with index. So this is the concept of index. Is that clear? One more example we can take. Let's say here div and let's say contains Sanjay. Now there are 15 matching node, 15 elements matching, and we are not able to make it unique somehow. So what we will do, we will just type open parenthesis here in the beginning, and it will give you the XPath with index. And the syntax for the index is like your XPath, like this is your XPath, let's say. So this is our XPath. Then the syntax for index, to add the index like this, and then here your index will come. So here it was 15 in this case, so this will come. And this index is the occurrence of this XPath for that particular element in the web page. Okay. Now let me explain. So these are the functions, and now you will keep learning more from this selector sub. There are a hell lot of functions. Now coming more concepts, more things are there, what all you can learn about selectors, what all you can should know about this DOM concept when you are writing. So I'm not explaining each one of them in like that much details, because then it will be like tough to absorb everything in this call. How to use ancestor following in Xpath. Okay, like let's say for example we have to write an Xpath for this element, my network, /span, then let's say contains this my network. Okay, and you ask me that can we write an XPath for this element with respect to this home, suppose, or with the following or something. So here, as soon as you type // and then parent or following or something, it will give you that. So this is giving you with respect to this child, we have written the XPath for this parent. And you see wherever it will find, it will add that XPath is equal to one attribute. So it gives you the parent child, or let's say we have to write the following siblings. So if there are no following siblings for this element, it will not suggest any following siblings. Or let's say take this one here, li this. So this jobs. And what are the following siblings for this messaging and notification right here? So if you type here li, sorry, following, so it will give you all the possible following siblings for that element li. And now for which following siblings we want to write, let's say for this following siblings we want to write, then click on that. And now if you open this, so here it will give you. So here we have written XPath for this messaging element with respect to this job one. Here, this job we have written following sibling messaging. So this is how we can write for following siblings as well. It's very simple. Let me explain again. First, you inspect that element with respect to which you want to write. So let's say we want to write with this job one or this li. So this li is the job one, right? So we will write this li and this job one. And now we want the following siblings of this one. So as you just type fo, it will give you following siblings, and we want that one, this following sibling messaging, right? So you just click on this, inspect on this, and then you open bracket. Here you go. Simple. So this is how you can build your XPath for this following sibling, using following sibling with respect to this one. Yes, you can use for immediate parent as well. So you have to just type PA and it will give you the immediate parent, like PA, and you see here it gives you the immediate parent of this job. So with respect to this job, we have written the immediate parent XPath. So this is the XPath for this immediate parent. XPath is equal to 1 is coming here. Okay, so we have seen this relative indexes, position, last, normalize space, and or condition multiple attributes. Dot functions we have seen. Now let me show you like what all more things you should know, like what all about DOM. Okay, so let's just close this one. See the beauty of this. Not sure how many of you know that these SVG and SVG path, these are the SVG elements we used to call vector elements. We cannot write the standard format XPath for these elements. Even DevTools doesn't support this. If you right click copy XPath and you see the value which it gives, it is 0 of 0. This is wrong XPath for SVG. Selector sub here, it will help you. Like let's say if you have inspected this path, okay, now you I'm not sure how many of you know understand that this is an SVG child XPath, SVG element, and we cannot write the XPath direct XPath for this element. First of all, we should know that this is SVG or not, right? So here we'll not get to know that this is SVG, but as soon as you open selector sub, it will tell you that this is SVG element, and when you start typing here like // it will tell you the correct format of that writing XPath for SVG elements, which was like, I'm not sure how many of you are aware about that this is how we should write an XPath for SVG element. And for SVG element, direct SVG tag, if you inspect this one, you see that will be different. You see, it's // local name SVG, while for SVG child, this is SVG child we used to say, that is name is equal to path. So from here you would be able to learn whether the elements is SVG or not, as well as what is the correct format of writing XPath for SVG elements. So this is how it is going to help you to learn about selectors, about the SVG elements. Now we have seen that shadow DOM part, right? Like if you are not aware about like what are shadow DOM elements, how to write XPath, how to write CSS selectors, what is possible for shadow DOM elements, that it will help you. Like immediately tells you that this is shadow DOM elements, and as soon as you type a star or dot, whatever with you want, whatever format you want, that you can write it here. And this is how you shadow DOM elements you can learn from here. And if you're doing
One
anything wrong,
question, Sanjay. From the shadow DOM,
yes,
you mentioned 2 points that open and close. So that can you just quickly, what does that open and close
sorry,
means?
which?
For shadow DOM,
Okay.
shadow DOM,
Okay.
shadow
Got it.
open close.
Yes. I will explain. Namit, this editor type of things not displaying to me. Okay. So, okay, I will explain that shadow DOM again. Before that, I will answer this thing. This editor type of things not displaying to me. Yes. Okay. So after installing, first of all, after installing Selector Sub, make sure you restart the browser. So it's very simple to install it. Those who want to install, is click on whichever browser you want to install. Just click on this, and here it will be add to Chrome browser, add to Chrome, and then after adding it, just restart the browser. And if you are not able to see it in your browser, there's an extension, default extension. Click on this, because now in Chrome, you by default it will not visible here. Whichever extension you have added, you want to see here, click to pin to toolbar, it will come here. Now after restarting your website, restarting your browser, open, click on inspect, open here Selector Sub, and it will work here. And if it is not working, make sure you have open google.com, not the default tab. This would be a URL. I guess Namit, you are trying on the blank Google tab, this like this. So this is not actual google.com. There should be a website. Either you have not restarted your browser, or you are trying to type on blank tab. So it should be google.com. This is not google.com. This is a default blank tab of Chrome. If you inspect here and if you start typing here something, it will give you these steps. So please check out these, like what it is saying. Looks like what you are doing wrong. If something you are doing wrong, then that reason it might not be giving you the auto suggestion. Feel free to reach out to me, like if any issue, if this doesn't solve your problem. And always open Selector Sub as a like attached doc in the bottom. Don't open it like this. I will tell you the reason why it will not work on this way, like as a separate window, and when it will work as a separate window. That is a security issue.
So Sanjay, one more
Okay.
question. For SVG element, can we write CSS selector? You said we cannot find directly the XPath, but can we write CSS selector for that?
Yes. For SVG elements, we can write the CSS selector. So like this, you can write path. Good question. And for CSS, so here also Selector Sub helps you that as soon as you start typing, you want to type CSS, right, like this. So if you are it understand whether you are typing CSS or whether you want to write XPath. So if you start typing CSS, it will give you the CSS option. If you are writing XPath, then it will give you XPath options. It understands that whether you want to write XPath or CSS. So you see, if you have written XPath, it will give you XPath format, and here it will suggest you whether those are XPath or not. As well
But
as it
can we write
shows
it
you the
like right click on that element, and then is there any option to get a just like that? We were not getting the option to copy XPath. Do we have
okay.
anything? No.
Not right now, but in future you will start getting those more options will be there for sure. But right now it doesn't give you the auto generated XPath. Like this, you right click and copy here, copy XPath. This is what you want, right? Like this,
Copy
like right
selector
click and
or anything. Copy selector
yes,
option is also
no,
no.
yes. Right now it is not there, but yeah, in coming future you will see that something like that.
So we
Good
can
point. Yeah,
make it
thank
a
you.
selector hub in that case to write this SVG element XPath. Correct.
Yes. You can write the CSS and XPath both. And there is like if you know that if you have to write with class or ID, so if you want to write with class, you just type dot here, CSS selector, and it will build your CSS selector with class. If ID is there, you just type hash, then it will give you with ID. Like here, class and ID both are there, so you can just type hash for ID CSS selector, dot for class CSS selector. So now we have learned about all these functions, and CSS selectors we will come later. We have seen the SVG, we have seen iframe and shadow DOM. I'm explaining again about the shadow DOM concept. So shadow DOM, there are two types of shadow DOM, open and closed. If you find that closed here, then we cannot verify CSS selectors for them. That is the security region. If you read about on this official Mozilla website or anywhere you can read, the mode property of shadow root specifies in its open and closed. That defines that whether or not the shadow root's internal features are accessible from JavaScript. So because extensions are developed on JavaScript and browser doesn't allow us to interact with access those shadow root elements which are from closed, which having this closed means closed, nothing you can access inside this. So that is the reason we cannot like inspect or anything we can do with those. So that is the reason nothing will support for closed shadow root, but open you can verify and you can learn about them.
So you mean for close we cannot write the XPath? For close.
Okay, so XPath we cannot write at all. See this message, enter CSS selector only as XPath doesn't support for shadow DOM. So for shadow DOM we cannot write at all. So let me write /input here and hit enter. Selector sub will help you with the proper error message, invalid CSS selector, XPath doesn't support shadow DOM. So you learn from here. So this is another really good feature of selector sub, that it gives you the proper error message for your elements, for your XPath, for your CSS selector, what is possible, what is not possible. And here is a link as well, like click to learn more about selectors error. So you click on this and it will take you to this page. And from here you can learn about like, I will keep updating this page, more functions, more things about it. So from here you would be able to learn about these things. What all possible, what all not possible, what all functions are there. Yeah. Any questions on this?
So previously I thought the open means we can write the XPath and close means it is for security purpose, it is closed and we cannot write the XPath for that.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. So the concept is XPath doesn't support at all for shadow DOM elements. Only CSS selectors left, and then we can write CSS selectors only for the open shadow root elements. We cannot access closed shadow root elements. So the first concept is XPath not possible
only
at all.
CSS selector support.
Yes, only CSS selector supports. Okay, so we learned about shadow DOM as well here. SVG, iframe, shadow DOM. Now comes frame. So this is the new feature which I'm introducing today in this workshop in Selector Sub. Now it is live. This in the 1.0.5. So here you might have seen like iframe you have seen, uh, SVG we have seen, shadow DOM we have seen, but you might have not heard about this kind of like frame is also there. One tag is there, frame. So iframe you might have heard a lot, but frame, this kind of frame. So if element is inside frame, how to write XPath for them? So XPath and CSS selected with the same concept we can write, but how to know whether that element is inside frame or not? So there's nothing like that we can get to know from here unless we will not scroll up and down. But from selector sub, as soon as you open, you got to know that in frame. It is telling you that this is in frame, and here you can build and write. So this is the new feature which you guys have seen for the very first time, because just now it goes live, went live, and so this is a new concept and new feature which I have added here. And now you see that we are able to write it here, and it is highlighting here. So this is frame, and when you will write in your script, you will have to first switch in frame, then you can interact with those elements. And you can write here your XPath and CSS both, like this way. And from here you can learn about these concept as well, like CSS. You see, you might have seen learned about like attribute is equal to attribute value so far, but now you will see that dollar is there, star is there, cap is there. So these are different functions for CSS selectors as well. Like one is for complete match, last match, start with, something like that. So that you can learn from here, those function about those functions. So a lot of learning. And if something is missing in your selectors and like in your XPath, that is going to help you, because what happened many a times when we type such values and we try to verify here in DOM, you see it is showing 0 of 0, but what is wrong in it? There could be a chance that something is missing, something is wrong in your XPath. That if you verify here, it will tell you that invalid XPath square bracket is missing. So that you can fix here. If something is missing, everything it will tell you. What is possible, like I'm not sure. So how many of you know that we can, is this possible or not? Like input div, many times people ask in interview whether this is possible. So what is possible or not? So after this is not possible. So like we are having workshop and many things, you need not now, you don't need that. From selector sub itself you can learn everything, like invalid XPath after close square bracket only / and open square bracket is allowed. So here we have typed like the text which is not correct. So here you will have to either type double / and if you hit enter, it will tell you that add tag name after /, or you can add like, let's say div, now you add, then it will at least correct format. So that we learn. So about errors you will learn about from here, because about the errors we are not able to learn from anywhere else. And many times we face a lot of challenges, like people used to say, ask that is this correct, is this possible, is this not possible, what is missing, what is wrong. So all those things you would be able to learn, like this you have written. Sometimes we used to miss something here, a lot of things we used to do nonsense. So at least those things now will be covered. So this is like going to help you as a debugger for you. Any questions on this?
No.
Thank you. Okay, now let me show you some of the concepts, like little complex one with the relative XPath. Somebody asked me one question few days back. Okay, any of you want me to write an XPath with respect to some elements or something which you feel that you want to know about that, or shall I give an example from my side? Okay, so let's say we want to write an XPath for this SVG element with respect to this photo. Okay, so what we can do is, with respect to this photo, we want to write an XPath for this SVG. So what we have to do first, let's first write with this photo XPath, and then we will traverse to the parent, and then we will write for this element. So how do we write? I mean, I'm just telling one concept here. So let's first inspect this photo one. /span, then text, let's say photo. We have written XPath for photo. Now what we will do, we will figure out same parent for both the element with respect to which we want, for which element we want. Okay, so here the common parent is this li for both of them, right? So we will write we will traverse from this child to this parent. Just click on this, and here we will write an XPath for this parent, let's say. Li icon /span. What is missing here? This is one matching node. If we write icon, wait, it is showing 0, or let's say parent, but okay, this parent for this photo is this button, not this li icon. So this is also, these things we can at least verify from here, so those are good thing. Now we came to this parent button from this one. Okay, and this is immediate parent for this span. We want to write the XPath for the first parent. So what we will do, we will replace this / with this square bracket. We have formed the XPath for this button with respect to this photo element, and we want to write an XPath for this SVG. What we will do, now we will inspect that SVG, and here we will write this. We missed. Where is the square bracket is missing? Yes, here it is missing. Invalid Xpath, SVG format. Okay, one second. This one. Is there any square bracket I'm missing? Yes, this one. Okay, so this is how we have written an XPath for SVG element. Now let me explain what I have done here. Copy this, come here. We wanted to write an XPath for this SVG element with respect to this photo. So what we will have to do in DOM, we will have to figure out both the elements and the common parent for both the elements. So this is the element with respect to which we want to write an XPath for this element. And the common parent for both the elements is button. So what we will do first, with respect to one, we want for this element, from this element we will traverse to that parent, and then from that parent we will traverse to that child element. This is a little complicated one. So what we will do, we'll write for a span this one, then we will traverse to that parent. So parent is button, let's say button. We came to this button. Now from this we will replace all the forward slash with a square bracket. We reach to this parent. Now we want for this SVG element. So we will write this SVG element 1. And we have built the XPath for this child element with respect to this S photo 1. This is little complicated. Or let me show you one more example here. Let's say for this we want to write an XPath for this box with respect to this jobs title. Okay, so how we do this? First we will write an XPath for this jobs one, then we will traverse to the parent, common parent, and then we will write for that box. Okay, so first we will have to write this span. We have written. Now we will reach to the common parent, which is A here. Click on this /A. So, and what we will do now, replace this single forward slash with square bracket. We came to the parent. Now we want for this box, inspect this box and write this here. Span ID. One second, this square bracket got missing. And this is how we have written for this element. Okay. Do you have any question? What does local name mean here? That is a, you can say like double forward slash what. So this is a syntax for SVG actually, local name. So like this, SVG. So that is a standard for writing the SVG XPath. This is like at we use in selectors, right? At attribute name is equal to attribute value. So that this is similarly like local name parenthesis. That is a standard for writing the standard formula for writing this SVG locators. Okay guys, so any more question? And if you have like here, please, I would request you check out these footer links. So here you will get a lot more information. And if you have any doubts anytime, you can feel free to reach out, connect with me on Slack. You check out the frequently asked questions, what is possible, what is not possible. And if you have any doubt, if you have any feature request or anything like any issue, you can raise it on GitHub of Selector Sub. I would request you all, please add a review for Selector Sub. It will really help me and motivate to work hard for you guys. And a lot more features. This is just 5-10% of the real Selector Sub, which is coming very soon. So yeah, a lot more features are there in the pipeline. And I would request you all, please share Selector Sub, which is going to save really a lot of time for people and going to help you a lot while writing your selectors and learning about selectors, because you will be, one can easily become an expert in writing selectors here and saves a lot more time, and they can learn about a lot of functions here. And here is like Telegram, LinkedIn, all those footer links are there. And I'm working full time for community only, so a lot more features and everything. My full support is there. And those who are not aware, I'm not working on Crowpath, so just wanted to let you know, guys, that you will not see any further update on that. So this is a new reality, Selector Sub, and it will be getting all frequently updates and everything. And it is available on all the browsers with a similar functionality. This is a dark theme, so you can also enjoy it on dark theme, Chrome, Opera, Edge browser, everywhere it is available. So whichever browser you want, you can use it. And with that, like floor is open and you can ask the questions now. How about playbook or cheat code? Will you keep adding? Yes. So here is the cheat sheet, I guess. So this you can keep on checking, and this I will keep updating. So this is cheat sheet only for selectors and errors and everything, all the functions. So here's the link I already added. So learn more about XPath and CSS selectors functions. So yeah.
Thanks a lot, Sanjay. That is a lot of information. Thanks a lot. So, guys, I have a request for you.
Thank you
So,
so much.
if you have further questions, Sanjay is already part of our Telegram group, the Elite Testers Telegram group. Sanjay is already
Yeah.
there. Feel free to join the group. I am going to post few links in the chat. So I will request you to join Telegram group, subscribe the YouTube channel, like the page on, or follow the page on LinkedIn, and my contact details is also available. Feel free to ask questions in the Telegram group. So it will help other group members also. As and when Sanjay is available, he will reply to your questions. So if you have further questions, please
Yeah.
go ahead.
And I have just shared the download link, and I would request you please add your review rating here. That will really motivate me, and it will help a lot others. Thank you, Nutan. Thank you all for joining, and great thanks, big thanks to Nagesh for hosting
Pleasure.
this meetup and yeah,
Pleasure, sir. Pleasure.
helping community.
Great. So one more update that donations are available. So please donate, and Elite Tester is going to donate by end of the day today to this cause. And thanks a lot, Sanjay, for coming on the Elite Testers. We would like